Welcome to The Explainer. Thousands of cyber attacks are launched every single minute, and a whole lot of them are aimed right at Windows. So today, we're going to break down how you can harden it, how to move from just reacting to every little fire to actually being in control. Our source for this, Mastering Windows Security and Hardening, it kicks things off with a pretty brutal truth. Are we secure? The short answer is no. Look, that's not meant to freak you out. It's meant to get us focused. Because having a real plan isn't just a nice to have anymore, it's the only way to operate. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the reality of the threats out there right now. Then we'll talk about building a solid blueprint for your defense. After that, we'll dive into why identity is the new heart of security. And we'll wrap it all up with a clear, actionable plan. Okay, so let's get right into it with that uncomfortable truth. The game has just fundamentally changed. The kinds of threats we're facing have evolved, and that means our defenses have to evolve right along with them. It's not just about some lone hacker in a basement anymore. We are up against organized cybercrime syndicates and even state-sponsored groups with huge budgets. We're talking sophisticated ransomware and these things called zero-day exploits. Those are vulnerabilities that the good guys don't even know exist yet. In a world like this, just reacting is a losing game. And this slide, wow, this really tells the story, doesn't it? Just look at the visual gap. The old toolkit on the left, basic antivirus, a firewall, it's just completely dwarfed by the sheer complexity and depth of what we need for modern defense on the right. It's like we've gone from building a simple fence to defending a massive interconnected city. So how in the world do we fight back? Well, we don't just react by buying more and more tools. We have to become architects. We need to build a proactive blueprint for security. And that brings us to this core concept, security baselining. It's a simple idea, but it's a total game changer. Instead of playing whack-a-mole with every new threat, you build a strong, secure foundation from the very beginning. So every new device, every server is set up in a known, secure way by default. That's how you get from chaos to consistency. And this little hierarchy here is what makes that blueprint actually work. Think of it like you're building a house, right? The policies, that's the big goal. We need a safe and secure home. The standards, those are the non-negotiable rules. Okay, all outside doors have to have deadbolts. And then the procedures are the nitty-gritty instructions. Here's exactly how you install this specific kind of deadbolt. See? It's a clear, top-down approach that just makes sense. And here's the great news. You don't have to invent all this from scratch. These frameworks, like the CIS benchmarks and the NIST cybersecurity framework, are like expert-created architectural plans. They give you proven, road-tested guidance that you can just pick up and tailor for your own needs. All right, so now that we have our blueprint, let's zoom in on its most critical piece, the one thing that has completely redefined the entire cybersecurity battlefield. This quote from our source really says it all. With everyone working remotely, using cloud apps, using their phones, that old idea of a secure network perimeter, the fortress wall around the office, it's gone. It's just gone. Now the user's identity is the main gate, and we have to protect that gate at all costs, because if an attacker gets those keys, they're in. So this is the absolute core of multi-factor authentication, or MFA. It's just not enough anymore to know a secret, like a password. You also have to prove you physically have something, like an authenticator app on your phone or a little security key, or you have to prove who you are with, say, a fingerprint. This one step, just this one, raises the bar for attackers dramatically. And what's the ultimate goal here? The end game? It's to get rid of the weakest link in the whole chain, the password itself. The entire industry is moving toward this passwordless future, relying on these much stronger and frankly, easier to use methods that are way harder for criminals to steal or crack. So, with all this information, it can feel a little overwhelming, right? Like, where do you even start? Well, thankfully, our source gives us a really powerful, actionable list that helps cut through all that noise. Our source boils this all down to 10 critical priorities. These are the things that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, the actions that will really bring some order to the chaos. Let's take a look. This list is basically your high-level checklist for taking back control. And notice how it kind of mirrors the journey we just took, right? It starts with identity, then it moves to frameworks and a zero-trust model. It hammers home the basics like staying updated, and then it covers all the modern tools, encryption, and comprehensive monitoring.
It's a complete, holistic plan.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that security isn't some product you can just buy. It's a process that you have to build. It's about becoming an architect, not just a firefighter. When you build that solid baseline, when you make identity your strongest defense, and you focus on these clear priorities, that's when you finally get to move from chaos to control. And just to leave you with one final thought, as we look to the future, with things like brain chip implants on the horizon, the line between us and our technology is getting blurrier and blurrier. So how will our very definition of security have to change when the thing we need to protect is us? Thanks for tuning in.